Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be comparing Madden 21 Next Gen versus Madden 22 Next Gen. We're going to show new presentations, celebrations. We're going to show players that finally got their face scans. We're going to also show players that have gotten updated face scans. We're going to show the rookie face scans and everything else. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell icon on if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Madden tips and news. So first, we're going to look at the pre-game presentation. On the left, as you can see, it says Madden 21. On the right, it's Madden 22. Now, for 21, then not a lot of people really liked the presentation because they were showing like more cinematics and like players like in the game before the game was even played and stuff like that. Now on the right, you'll see for Madden 22, they definitely improved the pregame a lot. I actually really do like the pregame. They show, of course, the players still running out and things like that, but they show the stadium shots, they show the flyover when it's available for an open stadium, they show players warming up on the field, they show crowd shots, they incorporate next-gen stats. Of course, they're still showing the teams running out of the tunnels. They still have some of the same cutscenes in there. It's not completely different cutscenes throughout, but they've just added more. It's a lot more going on, and I honestly like when they show players warming up on field. That was always one of the things I liked the most about the older games. Now you're going to see here, we're going to jump fully into Madden 22 because Madden 21 is done. That was where the presentation kind of cut off for the pregame. In Madden 22, they've made it about twice as long almost, so they've added more stuff there if you're a person that likes that. Here you can see still some of the same cutscenes we've seen on the sideline, but you get more with players warming up. You get player comparisons like right here, which I think this is a really cool graphic that they show. And from game to game, you get slight changes. Every pregame isn't the exact same, but they're very, very similar. You get a lot of the same type of shots, but sometimes you see different players warming up. You get different stats and comparisons, but overall, just a much improved pregame from last year. Now let's take a look at the new Super Bowl presentation. On the left, of course, is 21. On the right is 22. This is something that had been complained about quite a bit because the same Super Bowl celebration was in the game for about 5 years. So it's nice to finally see an updated one. And it's not like any drastic changes. They're just different cutscenes overall. But still, obviously, it's the same type of vibe going on, of course. But it's nice to see something new and fresh. But I would add that I think couple things. Number one, I think they should make the Super Bowl celebration a little bit longer. I think they should add in more, like maybe the commissioner, maybe having like a little bit of a one-on-one with the MVP of the Super Bowl, things like that. Like make it a little bit more immersive than it is. And also I think putting multiple Super Bowl celebrations into the game would be a good look as well, because most people that play this game, that play franchise and stuff, they're going to win more than one Super Bowl and they don't want to keep watching the same presentation over and over. So I think adding multiple would be nice. Now let's take a look at the rookie scans that are currently in the game. There's not many of them at this point. They said due to COVID, they couldn't capture as many people at the combine like they normally would get most of the class. So they're going to be updating them probably within the first month of the year, but they do have some of the bigger names. And now you'll notice, like with Trevor Lawrence especially and guys like that, they're actually scanning their real hair. They're not using like the Madden hair anymore. And you'll see that when we get to some of the updated veteran rookie scans. Like you could see with Justin Fields, like that's his real hair. That doesn't look like fake Madden hair. So the scans are now getting much better, as they should on next gen. Mac Jones just recently got his scan in the game, so he's there. Got Micah Parsons, but I think that's about it. It's like 6 rookies right now. They're going to have to update them throughout the year. Now let's take a look at the veteran face scans, and again, you're going to see the hair with a lot of these guys. They improved the faces, added more detail, but like look at Mahomes' hair. It's literally bouncing, which I don't know. I think that's just cool. Michael Thomas, again, you could see that hair is what's going to be the biggest standout, but you're just going to see more detail in the face, and they've updated a ton, so we're going to go through a lot of these really quickly just so you can see how much better they look. And again, this is 21 next gen versus 22, so it's not like I went to the current gen version to make it look better. This is the best version of 21 versus the best version of 22, and you can see that they're making the players look a lot more lifelike. Now where they really need to go further is with the kind of body types and stuff. As you can see here, like the beards, like all the hair, it just looks more real. It doesn't look fake and just kind of like clumped together, but they really need to just get better with the body types and kind of differentiating different archetypes and builds for players. Like George Kittle, I mean, they literally got his acne on his face now. Like, I don't know, that's just crazy to me. I know other games have probably been doing this, but to see it in Madden, to see them look this realistic now, I think it's pretty cool. But just wanted to give you a look. I mean, here's one of the biggest examples that is so drastic. Cam Newton, I mean, it's a night and day difference. It's honestly ridiculous how different that is. Myles Garrett too. I mean, the hair just super realistic now, and I like it. I mean, Darius Slay, this is another one that is just a crazy difference. I'm not even sure that's his actual scan on the left. It doesn't really look like him, not compared to the one on the right. You've got Xavier Howard. Joey Bosa is another huge difference. I mean, like, it's not even comparable. So I like seeing that. You can see with Derwin James, something about on last year's game, the faces were a lot darker for some reason. They fixed that with a lot of players. Jalen Ramsey actually looks like himself now. Cole Beasley, another drastic change. I mean, it's just, as we keep going through these face scans, you're seeing just how different people look. Now, these are players that didn't have scans last year that now have them. So you got Mark Andrews, Terry McLaurin. These are people that have been having generic faces that they finally got their real faces in. See Deontay Johnson. I mean, clearly, you know, drastic differences here because we're going from creative player faces to actual scans. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You'll see a lot of second-year players because, again, last year they had a similar problem, not being able to get some of those rookies at the combine like normal due to COVID. So you're going to see a lot of second-year players now finally have their faces in the game. Here's another huge drastic change with Byron Murphy. I mean, and again, you know, I know I keep sounding like a broken record here, but the hair just looks much better. And that's an area of Madden graphically that has just been dog crap for so many years, was the hair just looked so bad. So I like now that they're doing better with the scanning. They're scanning their hair, and I think they're actually starting to do full body scans now and not just face scans. So I think as time goes on, you're going to start seeing better player bodies and archetypes because they're not just only scanning faces anymore, which it seems like they're very behind on that. They should have been doing that, but you know, here we are. Now we're going to look at the weather side by side really quickly. To me, I don't really notice any difference in the weather, but I just want to be thorough in the video. I want to show you everything side by side so that you can kind of see for yourself. I know this is what people like to see. They want to just see the differences, not just in one area of the game, but everywhere. So we saw some rain, now we see some snow. To me, they still look about the same. Not something I really expected to be different, but I wanted to make sure to throw that in there for you to see. Now we're going to look at player movement. This is something you will notice a difference in. It's still the same next-gen player movement, which is much slower than current-gen, but you can see in the clips that they definitely did work speeding it up for 22 and making it tighter and just a little bit more controlled. And you feel it more if you've played it. You have to play both to truly feel the difference, but it's still much slower than current gen, but it's much more noticeably faster and tighter than next gen of last year. And here we're just going to show some throwing animations from Mahomes. I don't really notice too much of a difference here. They look pretty much about the same to me. I think that's another area of the game that they could stand to do a lot of work in, not necessarily with Mahomes in particular, but just getting more signature animations for other players. Here we're going to show a side-by-side of the broadcast cam. I know some people like to see what this looks like because they sometimes sim in their franchises and stuff like that. So, you know, it's starting to look a lot more realistic in passing. It's starting to look more like a real game. Then you've got the menu screen, same menu layout, just different colors and themes and stuff like that. And then lastly, we're going to look at the franchise hub side by side because this got a huge overhaul. Franchise obviously got a lot of new features this year, and they kind of surface all the most important information to you on the home page and give you stats and info about your opponents. The league page is better. It shows you the games and the league leaders and stuff like that. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you're new to the channel and you never want to miss out on any of the latest Madden info or news, make sure to subscribe, turn the bell icon on so you never miss any of these videos. I'll see you next time.